Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa. The name of my channel is Gnostic Knowledge, and what I am doing on this channel is simply reading a book, a phenomenal book. It is called Letters and Numbers, and the person that wrote this book, his name is Zachary K. Hubbard, and you can obtain this book on his YouTube channel. He has two YouTube channels. One is called Gematria Effect News and Gematria Effect Sports. And Letters and Numbers is a PDF file. There's over 700 pages of content in this book. And you go on his channels, either one of his channels, and when in the description of each of his videos that he produces, he has a link to the book, and you would go and pay for the book. It comes to you via email in a PDF file, and you would then download the book, and you would save the book, the file, to your computer, your phone, your tablet, whichever device you use for reading, and you can save it in iBooks. You can save it in your documents. You can even save it on Kindle, I believe. So yeah, I implore everyone who comes across this channel that you would go and support his work. Get the book for yourself, because it is eye-opening. It is very, very informational, and it is information that every person needs. It's information that every person needs. Also, there's other channels that I always like to recommend. Simple Truth Television. He decodes news and sports. Chigozie Truth. He does a lot of his decodes of the news live. Awesome content. Kayla.decode talker. She's doing great work, making YouTube channels. Derek, the young man that made the calculator, Gematrinator.com, he also does videos on YouTube. And on Gematrinator.com, there's different functions on that calculator, and the main thing is that you can go to this calculator and type in different words or phrases, and it gives you the numerical values of the words or phrases that you type in. And because Gematria, this whole thing is about Gematria, and Gematria is the encoding of numbers within letters and words. So every word we speak has a numerical value, and knowing this code, things are crafted in a way that common folk like myself wouldn't know. But when you know the code, you know what's being said. You know what's being translated to the elites and the people that are in power, that has power over our lives. The Most High has the last say in everything, but he did make it clear he gave the world over into the hands of the wicked, and they are doing everything they can to imitate the Most High. But I'm just so glad that the Most High has given me the eyes to see, to understand this book, Letters and Numbers, because it is having a profound effect on everyone, and has for centuries. And also on Gematrinator.com, there's a tab on that webpage called Blogs, and you can discover other people who are trying to share this knowledge as well. Zachary K. Hubbard has a blog, an older blog page called Free to Find Truth, .blogspot.com. Excellent content there, very eye-opening, very awakening. Simple Truth also has a blog page, simpletruth.television.blogspot.com. There's another great blog page called Gematria Altium. GematriaAltium.blogspot.com. Great content. And with that said, I hope you enjoy the reading. And like I like to warn you guys, I'm not the greatest reader. I don't have the greatest voice for reading, but this information is just so profound that this is my way of trying to wake people up as well. Just reading this book because I have talked about this information with many people and they dismiss it. It's amazing, and for whatever reason won't read the information. And so I'm hoping that someone who comes across this channel, anyone who comes across this channel, will listen to the information, and I hope it prompts them to go and get this book. Teach it to your children. That's the next generation coming up. They're going to need to know this information. This is the very thing we haven't been taught, and this is the very thing that has most of us, at the bottom of the barrel. And as we progress through the book, you're going to come to understand exactly what is going on, and especially toward African Americans, black people, Hebrews. You're gonna find out what is, a lot of it's just amazing. And I hope you can understand the information, and I hope you get the gist of it. So with that said, I am going to continue on page 66 of Letters and Numbers. And here we go. And I'm going to try to read for about an hour. I think I only have about 3 pages left in chapter 4, and then I will proceed on to chapter 5 and read as much of it as I can for about an hour or so. Okay, so here we go. At the top of page 66, Zach has written Satanic Temple. It equates to 47 in the septenary cipher, and Satanic Temple also equates to 47 in the Chaldean cipher. So that's the information that I didn't get to. But anyway, moving on to the next paragraph. When we get to the chapter on weather warfare, yes, weather warfare by the numbers, I added that. He just simply wrote, when we get to the chapter on weather warfare by the numbers, we will talk about the flooding of Houston, Texas, on the most appropriate day of the calendar year for such an event, August 27th, the 239th day of the year, which is the 52nd prime number. In ordinal Gematria, flood sums to 52. And August 27, 2017, the date Houston flooded was a date with 52 numerology to boot. 8/7/17 would be 8 plus 27 plus 17 equates to 52. And as mentioned earlier, it was the date Stevie Ray Vaughan died 27 years earlier, remembered for the album Texas Flood. If you look up what was reported in the news, they say 52 inches of rain fell on Texas in a matter of days. And one more time, weather warfare has been admitted by world militaries since the year 1952. Using the septenary method, Houston, Texas also equates to 52, a hard thing to call a coincidence. Again, my advice is to use Gematrinator.com, free of charge, as you decode history, and you will see how often these two ciphers come into play. Wow, I'm going to read that again. Again, my advice is to use Gematrinator.com free of charge as you decode history, and you will see how often these two ciphers come into play. Of the two, it seems septenary is most relevant, but neither should be discounted. Septenary the septenary cipher. Septenary is also the method where Saturn equates to 26, the number symbolizing God, and being a number of extreme importance in the Old Testament, where Saturn is God. To further establish how the complementary ciphers are interrelated and supportive of the base ciphers, let us do a little bit more decoding on Saturn using septenary and Chaldean. As we decipher, keep in mind Kabbalists have a 42-letter name for God that is in tribute to Saturn, which rules over the heavens, or what we also call outer space. And to the right of this paragraph, he shows a picture of the prayer of the Kabbalists, the 42-letter name of God. And it is a book by Yehuda Berg. So if you want to look into getting that book, I think I will myself look into this book as well. And so far I don't see the 42 name of God on this page. He may show it, or if not, you can go and look it up yourselves. But anyway, he has a list of words here. So the word Saturn equates to 26 in the septenary cipher. Space equates to 26 in the reduction cipher. S as 10. 26 equates to 42 in the reduction cipher. The word 26. Saturn also equates to 42 in the reverse reduction cipher. Outer space equates to 42 in the reduction cipher. Saturn equates to 21 in the reduction cipher. Saturn equates to 21 in the Chaldean cipher. 21, the word 21 equates to 42 in the reduction cipher. 21 also equates to 42 in the Chaldean cipher. Wow. 21 is the sixth triangular number, and Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun. Freemason equals 42 in reduction. Freemason and Kabbalah. Saturn equates to 93 in the ordinal cipher. 903, the 42nd triangular number. 903 is the 42nd triangular number. And what's amazing is that in Gematria, even though it's 903, you would basically ignore the 0 and just look at that as 93. For another related example of how septenary complements the base ciphers, notice how Sun equates to 13 using the method, whereas star sums to 13 in reduction. Of course, the Sun is the nearest star that in astrology is tracked in regards to which of the 12 zodiacs it rises in at the vernal equinox. Thus, 12 zodiac constellations plus 1 sun equals 13. Okay, the word sun equals 13 in the septenary cipher. Star equates to 13 in the reduction cipher. Space equates to 91, reverse ordinal. 91 is the 13th triangular number. The word 13, 13 written as the word 13, equates to 41 in the septenary cipher. Excuse me. 41 is the 13th prime number. And for one last example, notice how outer space in Chaldean coincides with space in ordinal Gematria. As we decode the 44 values, keep in mind spiritual has reduction Gematria of 44, and faith has ordinal Gematria of 44. This matters because, as we will cover ahead, the original spiritualities of this world were based in what was taking place above in the heavens, in the stars. Think Jesus, the Son, and his 12 disciples. Outer space equals 44 in Chaldean. Space equates to 44 in the ordinal cipher. Constellation equates to 44 in septenary. For 3 more complementary ciphers, I will give you a trifecta that are all related as well, and typically used by those studying Kabbalah within the English language. The 3 ciphers are as follows. ALW Kabbalah. The letter A equals 1, B equals 20, C equals 13, D equals 6, E equals 25, F equals 18, G equals 11, H equals 4, I equals 23, J equals 16, K equals 9, 11 equals 2, M equals 21, N equals 14, O equals 7, P equals 26, Q equals 19, R equals 12, S equals 5, T equals 24, U equals 17, V equals 10, W equals 3, X equals 22, Y equals 15, and Z equals 8. Okay? What this cipher is doing is counting every 11 letters while circling around the alphabet. Notice A is 1, then L, 11 letters. After this is, okay, let me start that over. What this cipher is doing is counting every 11 letters while circling around the alphabet. Notice A is 1, then L, 11 letters after is 2, and W, 11 letters after is 3. Then if you count from W, it goes X1, Y2, Z3, A4, B5, C6, D7, E8, F9, G10, H11. Because H is 11 letters later, it then becomes 4. Then 11 letters after that is S, which is 5, and so on until each letter is assigned a numerical value. Please recall from chapter 2, the word Kabbalah sums to 11 using the Hebrew alphabet and related reduction Gematria system. In the next chapter, you will learn what makes the number 11 special, the master number, said to be the greatest of all numbers in terms of numerical meaning. So the next cipher is KFW Kabbalah. Okay, A is 9, B is 20, C 13, D 6, E equals 17, F equals 2, G 19, H 12, I 23, J 16, K 1, L 18, M 5, N 22, O 15, P 26, Q 11, R 4, S 21, T 8, U 25, V 10, W 3, X 14, Y 7, and Z is 24. The next cipher, LCH Kabbalah. A is 5, B 20, C 2, D 23, E 13, F 12, G 11, H 3, I 0, J 7, K 17, L 1, M 21, N 24, O 10, P 4, Q 16, R 14, S 15, T 9, U 25, V 22, W 8, X is 6, Y 18, Z 19. Okay. Out of these three ciphers, ALW is far and away the most relevant, with KFW being second in line. When you write out English alphabet when you write out the word English alphabet using the AL Kabbalah cipher, it sums to 187, like the number of the chapters in the Torah that the Kabbalah code is based in, and again matching the value of Elohim in Hebrew, which Kabbalah is traditionally studied in. The math for English alphabet and its far from coincidental value of 180. The math for English alphabet and its far from coincidental value of 187 is as follows. English equates to 84. Alphabet equates to 103. So combined, English alphabet equates to 187 in the ALW Kabbalah cipher. In this cipher, you'll also come across much overlap with ALW and KFW ciphers. Here's one of those times where President's Day equates to 187 in both. Think about what we've learned in regards to DC and 187. This is how the entire code comes together. President's Day equates to 187 in ALW Kabbalah. President's Day equates to 187 in KFW Kabbalah. There are also some very rare exceptions where each of the three ciphers will equate to the same value for a single word. One of those rarities is riddle, summing to 74 in each. Considering Jim Carrey introduced this language of Gematria in the film Batman when he was playing the part of the Riddler, it makes this fact all the more fascinating. Riddle equates to 74 in ALW Kabbalah. Riddle equates to 74 in KFW Kabbalah. Riddle equates to 74 in LCH Kabbalah. So I'm going to show you these ciphers real quickly. I know I could probably do screen sharing and stuff like that, but I just want to read this book, and hopefully it'll encourage you guys to go and purchase this book yourself. But anyway, there's the information for those ciphers, President's Day and Riddle, and how they equate to the same numerical value in those different ciphers. Okay, and those are the other ciphers that we're going to cover next. So, anywho, let me plug this back in. So, moving right along. Next up is the prime numbers cipher. In this cipher, each letter of the alphabet is a prime number, meaning the first 26 prime numbers are captured, A to Z, as follows. Okay? Excuse me. A is 2, B is 3, C 5, D 7, E 11, F 17, G 17, H 19, I 23, J 29, K 31, L 37, M 41, N 43, O 47, P 53, Q 59, R 61, S 67, T 71, U 73, V 79, W 83, X 89, Y 97, and Z 101. In this cipher, ritual sacrifice sums to 477. Regarding Hugh Hefner, he died on the 447th day of the Jesuit order as a ritual sacrifice by the numbers at age 81. And I'm sorry, I misread that sentence, so I will reread it. Regarding Hugh Hefner, he died on the 477th birthday of the Jesuit order as a ritual sacrifice by the numbers at age 91. Then, just 4 days later, at the Route 91 Harvest Festival on October 1st, leaving 91 days left in the year, there was a false flag killing ritual in tribute to Yom Kippur, as we briefly mentioned in chapter 1, and will take a part in depth in the chapter on false flags ahead. Not by chance, this Las Vegas shooting came 477 days from the Orlando, Florida shooting at the Pulse nightclub on June 12, 2016, which was the worst mass shooting in U.S. history prior to what transpired in Las Vegas more recently. Consider, the supposed brother of the supposed shooter in Las Vegas was interviewed in Orlando the day after the killing, and even better, Orlando, Florida equates to the same thing as Jesuit order in ordinal, which is the number 144, our number connected to time, and as you will learn, also killing. To begin that education, Abraham Lincoln, known as Honest Abe, was shot on April 14th, or 14/4, not too far off from 144. Fittingly, in Jewish Gematria, the word killer sums to 144. As they say, time is a killer. At the same time, the name Abraham has ordinal Gematria of 44, and the nickname Honest Abe equates to 44 in reduction when S is counted for 10. That is similar to how kill equates to 44 in ordinal and shooting sums to 44 in reduction, same as execution. Even more, when you write out the word 44, when you write out 44 as a word, it has an ordinal value of 144. I bring up this example because Honest Abe would die the day after being shot, reportedly at 7:22 a.m. April 15th, 1865. This is fascinating because using the primes cipher, United States of America sums to 722, and Lincoln was the president who is credited with saving the nation. Further, adding to the riddle is the fact that he died on a date with numerology of 84 and 102, which are numbers corresponding with the United States of America as follows. Okay. the date of 4/15/65, and I'm assuming, what is that? Yes, 1865. So 4/15/65. 4 plus 15 plus 65 equals 84. United States of America equals 84 in the reduction cipher. Now, 4/15/1865, you would add 4 plus 15 plus 18 plus 65, and that equates to 102. United States of America equals 102 in reduction, and S equals 10. Okay? And United States of America equals 722 in the primes cipher. Next up is the trigonal numbers cipher. As we learned prior, triangular numbers are those with mathematical relationships in counting. In the case of 91, since we just discussed it, it is the 13th triangular number because if you add 1 through 13, it totals 91. And thus, in this cipher, the 13th letter, which is M, equates to 91. The entire chart is as follows. Trigonal numbers. All right, A is 1, B is 3, C 6, D 10, E 15, F 21, G 28, H 36, I 45, J 55, K 66, L 78, M 91, N 105, O 120, P 136, Q 153, R 171, S 190, T 210, U 231, V 253, W 276, X 300, Y 325, and Z is 351. Okay, this is not a cipher you will use very often, but it is one to be aware of. I have included it largely so that you can see the first 26 triangular numbers, which are worth knowing. When we talk about the Bible, we will discuss the triangular numbers of 153 and 351, among others, as they are extremely important. Please also pay attention that when you add 1 through 9 together, it sums to 45, which is numerology terms breaks down to 9. I'm sure he meant which in numerology terms breaks down to 9. 45 is 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, so I'm going to read that one more time. Sorry, but I just wanted to be in context. Please also pay attention that when you add 1 through 9 together, it sums to 45, which in numerology terms breaks down to 9. 45 is 4 plus 5 is 9. As we have learned, the number 45 is connected to the Holy Bible, geometry, and gematria. And gematria is the plural of gematria, which is geometry within language. In the next chapter, you will learn what makes the number 9 a very special digit. This quality is one of those special attributes. For our last cipher, and another you will not use very often, we will uncover the square numbers cipher. And yes, this is exactly what you are probably imagining, where each letter represents the squared value of the ordinal value of each letter. The chart follows. The chart is as follows. square number cipher. So A is 1, B 4, C 9, D 16, E 25, F 36, G 49, H is 6, I 81, J 100, K 121, L 144, M 169, N 196, O 225, P 256, Q 289, R 324, S 361, T 400, U 441, V 484, W 529, X 576, Y 625, and Z 676. This concludes our chapter on complementary ciphers. As we advance to the end cover, you will notice that the majority of our decoding is done with the 4 base ciphers we learned in chapter 2. But when we do use these complementary ciphers learned in this chapter, I will be certain to point out the method is in use. Please do not feel overwhelmed with the amount of information uncovered thus far. I assure you that with time you will become familiar with these various methods and they will become commonplace. And for one last reminder, Gematrianator.com is your friend, the website that makes computing letters into numbers a breeze, and that is absolutely correct. That same site can also be used to verify all prime numbers, trigonal numbers, and square number relationships, plus more. All right, that was the end of chapter 4, and so now I'm going to move right on into chapter 5. And chapter 5, numbers as a language, 1 through 10, the number 11, the number 22, and sometimes 33. So now the book is about to start becoming more and more understandable and interesting, and I hope you grasp the information, and I hope you get this book and you read it for yourself. All right, chapter 5. The occult meaning behind numbers, especially the digits 1 through 9, known as numerology, is credited to Pythagoras of Samos, born in 580 BCE. As mentioned, Pythagoras, the Greek great who studied in Egypt, is credited with being the father of mathematics. In his breakthroughs while studying the science of numbers, he developed spiritual beliefs and theories in regards to the properties that each of the first 9 digits possess. Each number after that, in his interpretation, was a creation of the first 9 digits. Each number after for example, the number 10, which follows 9 in numerology terms, is 1 plus 0 equals 1. Thus, the number 10 has the same properties as the number 1. Since the time of Pythagoras, other numerologists have recognized the values of the master numbers 11, 22, and sometimes 33, which we will also discuss in this chapter. It is important to note that much of Pythagoras' teachings have been lost with time, but some are still intact, which we will touch on in the pages ahead. As we examine the digits, we will incorporate and build on our understanding of Gematria, which is Jewish numerology. Okay, number 1 and number 10. The number 1 is the only number that divides into all other numbers, making it the most special. In this sense, the number 1 is like God, being found in all things. It is often used to symbolize power, leadership, and strength. Think about the desire within we people so often to be number 1, especially when we're younger. Growing up, you likely recall wanting to be first in line, first to be called on, or wanting the attention of your parents or those seen as authority before that same attention was received by others around you. In other words, being numero uno is a common human desire most of us can relate to. As for number 10 in numerology terms, again, it is the same as number 1 because 10 is 1 plus 0 equals 1. What I want to show you now is the very special relationship between 1 and 10 that goes beyond just a numerology breakdown. To unlock this seemingly magical relationship, we must add the numbers 1 through 10 together, which are the first two numbers having numerology of 1. The next is 19. Notice when you sum 1 through 10, it totals 55. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 equals 55. The number 55 is the 10th triangular number, meaning that when you sum 1 through 10 together, it totals 55 as we just did. In numerology terms, number 55 is 5 plus 5 is 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1. Absolutely. Thus, the first 10 digits, when summed, bring us back to number 1, the number that is most important above all. As just mentioned, 1 symbolizes God. With that understood, let us decode the word God using our 4 base ciphers that we learned in chapter 2. The word God in ordinal equates to 26. The word God in reduction equates to 17. God in reverse ordinal equates to 55. And God in reverse reduction equates to 10. It is amazing. Equates to 10. In the reverse Gematria methods, God equates to 55 and 10. Again, both reducing to number 1. This relationship becomes all the more interesting when we reduce the word numerology using the reduction method. Okay. The word numerology equates to 55 in the reduction method. Speaking of numerology, it is said that King James, oh man, I just keep messing up, but just please bear with me. Speaking of numerology, it is said that the King James Version of the Bible is the most numerological in its orientation. Considering features such as the 55 uses of the word heaven in Revelation for the KJV, the claim is not without substance. The word heaven equates to 55 in ordinal. King James equates to 55 in reverse reduction. So, and just in case I wasn't clear on that paragraph, I am going to read it one more time. So it says, speaking of numerology, it is said that the King James Version of the Bible is the most numerological in its orientation, considering features such as the 55 uses of the word heaven in Revelation for the KJV. The claim is not without substance. The word heaven itself equals 55 in ordinal, and King James equals 55 in reverse reduction. As we just learned, reducing 55 in numerology terms brings us back to 1. Even more interesting, in the Fibonacci sequence, which is part of God's mathematical spiral known as phi, P-H-I, and the golden ratio, the 10th Fibonacci number is 55. And beyond that, the word Fibonacci equates to 55 using reverse reduction Gematria. First, we'll examine the Fibonacci sequence, and then we'll decode the word Fibonacci, the name of the Italian mathematician born in 1170 CE, who is credited with the discovery of this very important sequence that we will expand on in the chapters ahead. So the Fibonacci sequence is this: 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 22, 34, 55. Okay, so here we go. If you count the numbers, you'll notice 55 is the 10th in the sequence. Make sure you count both ones. They are the first 2 digits in the sequence. The way the pattern works is by adding 1 plus 1 equals 2, then 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then 3 plus 5 equals 8. Then 5 plus 8 equals 13. Then 8 plus 13 equals 21. Then 13 plus 21 equals 34. And then 21 plus 34 equals 55. The next number in the sequence is 89 because 34 plus 55 is 89. After that comes 144 because 55 plus 89 is 144. What's interesting about 144 being the 12th number of the Fibonacci sequence is the square root of 44 is the number 12. This pattern goes on to infinity. Let us now decode the word Fibonacci using reverse reduction Gematria. Fibonacci, the word Fibonacci equates to 55 in the reverse reduction cipher. Excuse me. In the Hollywood film Pi, where Kabbalah and Gematria are introduced, so is the Fibonacci sequence. In fact, Miramax, that put out the film on their own YouTube account, has a short clip of this portion of the film that I recommend you watch, and it is exactly 3 minutes and 14 seconds long, just like 3.14 for pi. In the scene shown in the clip, it is an Orthodox Jewish man, a Kabbalist, who learns from the protagonist about the Fibonacci numbers. The Kabbalist's name is Sol Robeson, S-O-L-R-O-B-E-S-O-N, summing to 55 in our reverse reduction cipher. And even better, the protagonist's mentor in the same film is Lenny Meyer, which in reduction also equates to the number 55. So, and once you get the book and you see all this, I can actually just show you. So, you can just see exactly what it is equating to. See? Fibonacci, and then Sol Robeson and Lenny Meyer, what their names equate to in in reverse reduction and in reduction cipher. Oh, come on. Okay. By applying the code, you will see that the encoding of character names in books and in films with numbers that correspond to the key elements of the story is a common practice. It goes to show the people who are creating the information we are consuming are very much aware of the code, but they aren't sharing it with us. They're only hiding it under our noses. Perhaps it is because they think they are number one. As mentioned in the last chapter, many of these people, especially in Hollywood, are part of the synagogue of Satan, which is a very real thing and not to be taken lightly. Let us close out our learning of the number one by decoding Satan, which will serve as a reminder of the duality within this numerical language hidden from day one ever so cleverly. Also keep in mind the rock star Marilyn Manson's song Say 10, where the chorus goes, "You say God, I say Satan, Satan." Absolutely. There can be little doubt he is aware of the code. And man, it's amazing. These people are evil. Satan, the word Satan, equates to 55 in the ordinal cipher. And the word Satan equates to 10 in the reduction cipher. Wow. Okay, so now we're going to move on to number 2. The next most important digit is number 2. It is the only number that divides into all even numbers. It divides into all even numbers. It is the number that symbolizes duality, the duality of this world, from day and night to hot and cold, to good and bad, to past and present, and so on. On the subject of time, I want to revisit something we covered in chapter 2. Recall, the letter T is the 20th letter, and in numerology terms, 20 reduces to 2. Also, throughout history, the letter T, which is a cross, has been used to symbolize the 4 seasons, which in total are often recognized in 2 parts: the warm months, spring and summer, and the cold months, fall and winter. Keep in mind, the number 4 is the result of adding 2 plus 2. The word time equates to 20 in the reduction cipher. Seasons equates to 20 in the reduction cipher. Cross equates to 20 in the reduction cipher. 20 is 2 in numerology terms, because 20 would be 2 plus 0 equals 2. Okay, in Freemasonry, their most important symbol is based in this same digit 2. They are the 2 pillars of Boaz and Jachin. So I'm going to spell those just in case I mispronounce them, but these temples are in the Bible. Boaz and Jachin. Boaz and Jachin, which were once found at the front of Solomon's temple prior to the temple being destroyed and the Babylonians dismantling the 2 enormous pillars and returning them to their own land. These same pillars, as we will learn, are crucial to Kabbalah and its tree of life. Again, Freemasonry has its roots in Kabbalah. As for each of the pillars, Boaz represents strength and the sun, and Jachin represents beauty, and the moon. Think about the name of the temple they stood before, Solomon's. Sol, S-O-L, is a word symbolizing the sun, and M-O-N is the root of moon. Throughout history, these two objects in the sky, most visible to us from Earth, have been used to keep track of time, past and present. Prior to the Gregorian and Julian calendars, much of the world was on the moon-based calendar, which was 13 cycles of 28 days, which is the lunar cycle. For your information bank, please note that using ordinal Gematria, the word 2 equates to 58, that special number to Freemasonry as we covered in Chapter 2. If you look back at the Fibonacci sequence, you will notice the first two numbers of that sequence sum to 2, 1 plus 1, and that the sequence's fifth number is 5, and the sixth is 8, not unlike 58. So the word 2, T-W-O, equates to 58 in the ordinal cipher. Wow, this stuff is... Okay, the number 3. The number 3. The number 3 is viewed as a spiritual number representing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In the third verse of creation, God brought light into the world, the one thing that makes all other things possible. Not coincidentally, both 3 and light are perfect matches in all 4 of the base ciphers. Let us first read the third verse of Genesis, then we will decode the two words sharing much in common. So Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, and he's chosen the NIV Bible. And it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So the word 3 equates to 29 in the reduction cipher. The word 3 equates to 25 in the reverse reduction cipher. The word 3 equates to 56 in the ordinal cipher, and the word 3 equates to 79 in reverse ordinal. The word light equates to 29 in the reduction cipher. Light equates to 25 in the reverse reduction cipher. Light equates to 56 in the ordinal cipher, and light does equate to 79 in reverse ordinal cipher. So they are a perfect match in all 4 ciphers. Wow. Consider, Freemasonry is fixated on the number 33, which is really just the first rep digit of the number 3, where the true significance of 33 resides. Okay. Consider, Freemasonry is fixated on the number 33, which is really just the first rep digit of the number 3, where the true significance of 33 resides. Okay. As mentioned, the entire code comes back to time, and time can be broken into 3 parts: past, present, and future. As you learned last chapter, using the Jewish Gematria and English Extended Gematria ciphers, both the words time and light are perfect matches, and having a natural relationship through the sun and moon, which are both objects of light and time. The third object of time is Saturn. Wow. Also worth recognizing, the number 3 is spelled T-H-R-E-E, having 5 letters. In the case of the first 2 numbers, 1, O-N-E, and 2, T-W-O, they're each 3 letters long. So why not make the number 3 letters as well? Before answering that, first recognize that light was created on the first day of creation, establishing a relationship between 1 and 3. Second, the number 3 is the second prime number. Thus, there is a relationship between the numbers 3 and 2 as well. Then third, the number 5 is the third prime number, which brings us to the word religion, as well as the word Catholic, and also the name Elohim, the name of God in Genesis 1:1. Let us now calculate each using reduction Gematria. The word religion equates to 53. The word Catholic equates to 35, and both of those were in the reduction cipher. And the word Elohim equates to 35 in reduction, and the word creator equates to 35 in reduction cipher. Let us also examine the word I using the ordinal method. You'll notice the word breaks down to 5 plus 25 plus 5, where 25 has a square root of 5. Thus, the 3-letter word pays much respect to the two specific numbers 3 and 5, sharing the prime relationship. As we decode, consider that each human being also has 3 eyes. They are the 2 on your face plus the 1 in your mind, known as the third eye or the pineal gland. And on the subject of the mind's eye and the Catholic Church, consider the Vatican has a giant statue of a pine cone, which is in tribute to the pineal gland, looking very similar in appearance. So the word I equals 5 plus 25 plus 5 equals 35. Understand, nothing is arbitrary about our language, from the numbers counted behind the letters to the number of letters used to form a word. And again, nearly everything about English is in tribute to what is within the Holy Bible, as well the mathematics of this world in relation to time. Wow. I'm going to read that again, okay, because I know I screwed it up. Understand, nothing is arbitrary about our language, from the numbers counted behind the letters to the number of letters used to form a word. And again, nearly everything about English is in tribute to what is within the Holy Bible, as well as the mathematics of this world in relation to time. Also, as a reminder, prime number relationships are paramount. Thus, why prime numbers have ordinal Gematria of 153, and Holy Bible and the Bible have reverse ordinal values to match, same as Jesuit order. To emphasize the point, let us examine Genesis 3:5, which has everything to do with the eyes and God. So Genesis chapter 3 verse 5, New International Version of the Bible. Okay. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. And I am going to end the reading there. It's been a little over an hour now that I have been reading, and I will do another reading tomorrow, and we will start with number 4. I hope this information was understandable to you, and I hope that it will prompt you to get the book and learn the information and share it. You guys have a good day, and I will see you guys again. Thank you. Bye-bye.